for the last several months, we've been recording doorstep deliveries. Many videos show small items in oversized boxes. So with the help of the Chicago Sun-Times, we examined our ever-growing cardboard footprint. Here, look what's inside.
One after another, the I-Team collected dozens of examples. Small items in big boxes.
Did the box have to be that big?
Probably not. I think there's probably going to be a lot of right sizing that you see happen over the next several years where, people will be examining their packaging to make sure that that's the right fit.
Does more need to be done to regulate non-standard auto insurers?
I think the laws and regulations on our books adequately regulates the industry generally.
Before you buy an insurance plan, you should get 2 to 3 quotes and research state complaint records. You can see those records and even file a complaint of your own if you go to our website, abc7chicago.com. There is a link to the state website.
Interesting. Something you'd never realize, of course, until somebody else hits you.
Right, and some people say it's just not fair.
Yeah.
Thanks for sharing.
It's unbelievable. Dryers are second only to stoves when it comes to causing house fires. But these fires are preventable. The I-Team went to the experts to explain how to keep your home safe from this fire risk. Most people probably don't know that these need to be checked.
Yes, so actually the vent need to be checked and cleaned once a year.
That's not very bad.
No, because the vent here is pretty short.
Milner was surprised about the amount of lint.
You can also find a list of maintenance tips and things that you can do on your own on our website, abc7chicago.com. Isn't that amazing, all that lint?
You've got us thinking now. Yeah, everyone.
I saw all of you watching.
Yes, we were.
We're all talking about what we're going to do.
What our dryer vent duct looks like right now.
The contractor told me he would issue refunds or complete the work. He blamed a business partner for the delays. But some customers say they still want answers after several months of getting the remodeling runaround. They say they were left in the dust.
Hi, Mr. Nasir. Jason Knowles from ABC7 I-Team. We want to ask you about your work.
We emailed and called Ultimate Travel and stopped by the business. It was closed, so we went to the owner, Kelly Koziak's house. A man who identified himself as her husband stopped to talk.
Will she come out and talk to us?
No,
Why not?
because that's what her lawyer told.
Mr. Liska, Jason Knowles from the ABC7 I-Team. We want to ask you about the home repair fraud charge. What do you want to say to people who say that you didn't do the work? What do you say to people who say you did shoddy work? Well, Kathy, he says most of his customers are happy, but that phone repairman faces several City of Chicago violations and thousands of dollars in fines. It all started after the I-Team uncovered the Phone Fury dramatic videos of disputes from consumers who say they were ripped off.
When Atrashe ignored our texts and calls, I stopped by.
Do you raise the prices on people after you have their phones?
Thank you.
Sir, I'm Jason Knowles from ABC7. I'm rolling. What do you have to say to your customers who say that they were ripped off?
Atrashe then tried to slip out the back door.
Mr. Atrashe's Cook County Recorder of Deeds office says zombie properties don't have a proper owner with a valid deed. They could be abandoned or on the city's demolition list. Hi, Mr. Schrader. Jason Knowles from the ABC7 I-Team. Do you own this property?
Yes, I do.
Then he ran out.
Do you have a list of zombie properties that you try to sell to people that are on the demolition list?
Nope.
Can you show me the documentation that shows that you actually own
I'm
this
entitled to
property?
the documentation.
Why can't you show it to me?
Because you don't work for me.
It's a nutrition club crackdown. We found some of these nutrition clubs are unlicensed and unregulated while serving various brands of shakes and supplements. Do you have a business license?
Yeah.
Can you show it to us?
I'm busy now. In 1 hour, please.
It's been an hour, and as you can see, it's closed. Customers say they trusted the people offering deals because they attended business meetings at a church. They say they paid thousands of dollars to obtain abandoned or foreclosed homes.
When calls went unanswered, I stopped by the church before Taylor's meeting.
Jason Knowles from the ABC7 I-Team. How are you?
Sizzle.
We wanted to talk to you about Trans Global Development.
Mm-hmm.
Your company. Well, some people say that they've given you earnest money and they never got the homes.
No, you're talking to the wrong man. That ain't me.
You're Otis, right?
No.
Yeah, you are. Mr. Taylor?
Off camera, he admitted he's Taylor.
The owner of the company is accused of taking the money and not supplying custom window treatments.
We filed for bankruptcy.
But what about the people who paid you? We've talked to some consumers who say that they paid and they're waiting on their blinds.
Come over here.
What about the theft charges, sir?
Excuse us.
We'd like to ask them.
I don't give a what you want.
Curbstoning is a term used to describe unlicensed car dealers. Many times the vehicles they sell can wind up being lemons. Tonight, the I-Team is showing you how these rogue car dealers and the property owners who help them can face violations.
Do you have anything to say about the possible citation?
You cannot do that. You cannot do that.
Do you have the proper license to sell those cars?
Those cars are not mine.
But do you have the license to have the cars here?
No comment.
Do you know that your number is actually connected to 8 different cars for sale right now? Are you curbstoning?
Well, Ellen, you can see the progress, a roof in Bradley being finished after the I-Team got involved. A contractor says he's trying to make good on unfinished business, but the I-Team found another angry customer upset over a remodeling job that hasn't happened.
All what I care is about the roof.
Yeah, and that's why I'm here. I mean, look, at the end of the day, I'm doing what I need to do.
Right.
And I'm really sorry.
Okay.
The contractor told me he would issue refunds or complete the work. He blamed a business partner for the delays. But some customers say they still want answers after several months of getting the remodeling runaround. They say they were left in the dust.
I feel betrayed.
They all say they were hoping for a better deal.
When they sound too good to be true, maybe they are.
So they clicked on Facebook for a contractor.
How does it make you feel that he has your money?
Angry? Definitely angry. There's a lot more things that I could put that money towards.
These 3 consumers say they found South Suburban contractor Mahmoud Nasir on community pages, then paid cash or check.
I didn't get anything. Nothing was done.
Oscar Setiawan says he had to hire another contractor to remodel his Marionette Park rental property because he says Nasir never showed up. The contract with Nasir and 3 Brothers Rehabbing was signed, the deposit paid in June.
After I paid the $4,000, a couple days went by where there was no communications. It was never back at the property. The basement's freeze.
And in Peatone, Adam Manaskin filed a police report. He's accusing Nasir of keeping $4,000, a deposit paid in June for a $12,000 job. Work in a garage, a fence installation, and a remodeled basement.
You're supposed to be here play area for the kids where they can have their game console and TV. Supposed to have an office over here.
Manaskin took these pictures of Nasir's IDs.
I asked him because I was a little suspicious, so I asked him for his ID.
But months later, Anaskin sent us these photos of Nasir starting that basement job. He says after Nasir learned of our investigation. We called and texted Nasir, and when he didn't get back to me, our consumer investigative producer called and asked to meet him about researching contracting work. He wouldn't get out of the car, and when I approached with the camera...
Hi, Mr. Nasir. Jason Knowles from ABC 7 I-Team. We want to ask you about your work.
Minutes later, Nasir called me.
I'm not a bad guy, Jason. I'm a guy.
And I told him we were recording. But you know, we've had 5 people say you either don't finish the work or you don't even start the work.
No, but I mean, like Adam, his work is getting done. There was a couple people that I'll explain everything to you in person.
Nasir canceled once and then didn't show up for another scheduled in-person interview. But on the phone, he offered his side of the story and made a pledge.
It was something, unfortunately, that happened between me and my business partner. I got the short end of the stick, you know what I mean? And I just want to be able to either reimburse everybody. I mean, I'm not saying I can reimburse them all at once. It'll take a little bit of time, but I will reimburse if I have to, or I will finish the job if I have to.
So you'll either finish the work or you'll refund people?
Absolutely. But we can work out an agreement where I can take care of them, you know?
Experts say you may be able to save money by finding a contractor on a Facebook community page, but make sure you do the research. Ask if that contractor has his or her own website and their own brick-and-mortar office. And remember, use a credit card when you can, not cash or check. This is the biggest mistake we see people make all the time. They hand over the cash.
Sure, cash.
Alan, the hearing was a result of our investigation in November exposing the number of murder cases affected by DNA delays. More than 750 murders in the last 3 years, still in the process of being analyzed or sitting while victims' families wait in pain.
We're absolutely not happy with
the backlog. We are working very hard every day to do everything possible to address this issue.
The Illinois State Police Forensic Department answered questions for more than an hour today during a public health committee hearing as to why it has a massive backlog of murder cases.
The last thing we want is murderers walking around on our street feeling real happy about killing people and getting away with it.
Today, the State Forensic Lab admitted the problem is growing. An increase in cases, low staffing, and a lack of communication between the labs, law enforcement, and the legal community were the reasons the Illinois State Police say their backlogs began ballooning in 2010. State Senator Patricia Van Pelt called for a public hearing resulting from an ABC7 I-Team report. Through the Freedom of Information Act, we found that more than 750 murder cases are stalled in the system, awaiting DNA analysis.
They told me they have a DNA of the mask that one of the young men wore. I want justice for my child.
Someone that killed my child is walking around free.
In November, Carmia Tang told us how her son Jeremy's case has still not been processed since his murder in September of 2017. Today, she echoed those concerns to state leaders.
I wanted to fight for Jeremy, but it's so much bigger than Jeremy now.
State police also said they have an overall DNA crime backlog of 13,390 cases.
State police say that with increased staffing, it will still take 5 years to eliminate the backlog. State senators involved now say they will be holding more hearings to expedite solutions to those staffing and communication problems. We will continue to follow all of this action being taken. We have not heard the last of this yet. The I-Team uncovered hundreds of 911 calls from area trampoline parks, and we found trampoline dangers. As parks become more popular, critics say there's been a jump in injuries. Now, we do want to warn you, some of the images are disturbing.
It's high-flying fun and an indoor exercise for many children. The I-Team worked with our ABC station in Philadelphia, and we found that injuries at trampoline parks can be potentially life-changing. A fractured ankle during trampoline dodgeball, a broken neck flipping into a foam pit. Then there is this man who landed with such force on the perimeter of a trampoline, severing his foot from his leg. This teen suffered a severe brain injury after falling through a hole in a trampoline. Through the Freedom of Information Act, the ABC7 I-Team requested the number of emergency injury calls made to the 16 Chicago area parks in the last 3 years. A total of 315 911 calls were made. That number does not include injured children taken directly to the ER by their parents.
Broken noses, broken cheekbones, broken jaws, broken necks that have led to quadriplegia and death.
Don McPherson, a Naperville veteran gymnastics instructor, is a critic who has been an expert witness testifying against these parks on many occasions.
You have kids that are just bouncing across a trampoline. They get to the end of a trampoline where it tightens up and their legs snap.
There's a trampoline fracture, they call it. It's a certain, kids have open growth plates in their extremities so that they get bigger. It's a softer area, you get more fractures, and it can affect your growth later in life.
Dr. Charles Nozica, a pediatric emergency physician at Advocate Children's Hospital, says he's seen an increase in trampoline-related ER visits.
60 to 70% of them are orthopedic injuries, most of them in the lower extremities. The older kids tend to have more upper extremity injuries and have more neck injuries or head injuries because they're trying to do flips.
The American Academy of Pediatrics advises against recreational trampoline use and says pediatricians need to actively discourage it. The I-Team randomly chose a park to see for ourselves. We visited Sky High Sports in Knowles, open since 2011. In the last 3 years, 9 emergency calls for injuries were made from the business. But we saw multiple kids on the same trampoline, double bouncing, running across multiple trampolines, adults bouncing in the park's special zone for only 6 to 8-year-olds, and teenagers flipping onto their heads. Sky High Sports told the I-Team that safety is our top priority priority and that it has mandatory policies and procedures to mitigate risk of injury.
The International Association of Trampoline Parks says safety is top priority and plans to implement its own more stringent standards in 2020, including third-party inspections, adding that government data shows trampoline park injury rates are lower or about the same when compared to other youth sports activities, and that other sports like lacrosse and football are even more risky, but still something to watch out for if you're going to take your kids there. Alan, it's a sinking feeling in your stomach when your luggage is missing, or in this case, burned and shredded. The passenger contacted the I-Team because she's upset over her luggage ordeal and how it was handled by the airline.
All melted.
What if this
These are a pair of shorts.
is what you picked up when your plane landed?
A melted tennis shoe.
And this is all I have from a pair of sandals.
South Suburban Hazel Crest resident Ivy Ford says she was appalled when she realized this mess was her luggage.
Who put somebody's stuff in a garbage bag like this? Not knowing the whole time it was mine.
Spirit Airlines did not tell the I-Team or Ford how her luggage got burned and shredded.
I felt like my situation was so severe that I shouldn't have to produce receipts for burned luggage.
And under the airline's policy, her Versace perfume was not eligible for the claim. After a month of back and forth emails and calls battling Spirit Airlines on that receipt policy, she received an approval for a $400 reimbursement check. She says about $80 less than she requested. But Spirit also threw in a $50 travel voucher. Ford says she's also disappointed in her luggage replacement option from a Spirit catalog.
This is what they sent me.
After we became involved, Spirit gave Ford another $50 travel voucher and added an additional $80 for her reimbursement to satisfy the amount of the entire claim. Spirit Airlines says we greatly apologize for the damage to our guest luggage and personal items. We take pride in our luggage handling, but in the rare event of damage or loss, we have a process of itemizing all belongings and their value. Keeping in mind every incident is different, we have worked directly with the guest and fulfilled her request for reimbursement.
Somebody didn't do their job, mishandled some luggage, and nobody's taking responsibility for it.
To make a claim easier, take a smartphone video of your clothes and other items in your checked luggage. Avoid checking expensive items like perfume, which may not be covered under policies, plus read those policies. Also, take any extra straps off your luggage so they don't get snagged and caught. You can also consider travel insurance, which may cover more, and we also put some more luggage tips on our website and our news app. The ticket salesman in question uses the business names Tommy Tickets or Let's Talk Tickets. But we talked to some consumers who say they were promised seats but ended up with a big ticket loss.
Tommy Ryan, known as Tommy Tickets, is so well known that people post online videos of his appearances. Here he's singing Sweet Caroline, and the I-Team found some of his customers who say they were sweet-talked into believing they'd get tickets to popular concert and sporting events.
It's like, don't worry, you know I got you. I'm Tommy Tickets. I'm Tommy Tickets, baby.
Lakeview resident Crystal Smith says she paid Tommy Tickets almost $800 through QuickPay for tickets to the Goodman Theater play, A Christmas Carol.
I'll get you the tickets. I was like, I would love that. I want the tickets in my hand. And then he was supposed to meet me in my work, and he didn't.
Smith and this Hermosa neighborhood resident, Heather Underwood, claimed they were left hanging without the tickets and didn't get a refund.
It was just very disappointing, and I kept calling him, texting him. He wasn't answering.
Both filed Chicago police reports and showed us their text with Tommy Ryan detailing the deals and later asking for refunds. CPD says it's investigating both cases.
He's just happy-go-lucky and just, yeah, I'm a great guy.
Listen to this voicemail she says Tommy Ryan left for her the night of the concert.
My phone died. I had them under your name, Heather Underwood, but under Let's Talk Ticket. I had them emailed, but you couldn't get the email. Call me back. I hope you got in. I don't know if you got the tickets or not. My phone died. Call me back. I'm so sorry. I'll give you a full refund if you didn't get in.
The Illinois Attorney General's office supplied the I-Team with 3 separate claims from consumers, alleging that Tommy Ryan charged them anywhere from $600 to $31,000 for tickets they never received. That huge sum of money for World Series tickets the consumer says he never got.
It was believable.
And Phyllis Buccaro filed this Schaumburg police report alleging that she paid Tommy Ryan almost $4,000 for 16 Cubs tickets. She told police she would be an investing employee where she would buy the tickets and sell them for her profit.
And I was very emotional. It was very hard on me to lose all that money.
The police report also notes that Tommy Ryan claims Buccaro gave him $1,800 to gamble for her, and she admitted to driving him to a casino and watched him lose what she said was her ticket investment money. We sent Ryan a text, this email, and a Facebook message through his Facebook business page. We also stopped by his Schaumburg residence and he didn't answer. But Ryan doesn't appear to be camera shy here. Besides that singing you saw earlier, in this Chicago Tribune video, he proclaims his love for the Cubs.
We have to walk in with the tickets, but we're not trying to sell them.
You hear he's still selling tickets. What do you think?
I think it's really sad that he's still out there and nobody has put a stop to it.
When buying tickets from a third party, you should only use businesses and websites you know and trust. If going through someone who says they are an official broker, ask to see their license. You can research broker licenses online with the state and other organizations, and we put all of those links on our website, abc7chicago.com. Just because someone promises you those seats doesn't mean you'll get them.